It's your average day on Crouch's Mudlick Farm in Bath County, Kentucky, March 3rd, 1876. It's late winter, a bit chilly with a light wind coming from the west, but with a clear blue sky above, and the sun melts the frost from last night. Rebecca Crouch, a middle-aged farmer, watches her husband Alan and their 34-year-old son William drive their carriage off the property early that morning. They're heading to the town of Frenchburg, 200 miles to the northeast, to trade some goods. And until they return, Rebecca is in charge of watching her 12-year-old grandson, also named Alan. Meanwhile, the boy and his grandmother get to work on the daily chores. Out in the fields just before noon, Alan is running around catching grasshoppers while Rebecca prepares to make a big batch of soap. So she builds a fire and waits for her cast iron vat to heat up. And as she stokes the fire, she hears something small but dense hit the ground between her and little Alan out in the field. And then again. She asks, "What is that falling, Alan?" He looks up and says, "Why, Grandma, it's snowing." Between them, again, something heavy falls out of the sky, far too heavy to be a snowflake. It's even far too heavy to be hail. And it hits the ground with a splat, and then another, and Rebecca watches as dozens of chunks of red pinkish material soon thud and squish against the field surrounding them. She looks up to the cloudless sky in confusion and watches as the sprinkle turns into a shower. Red spitballs fill the sky and pummel into the trees, bushes, and soil below. Some of the largest chunks are a few inches wide. Rebecca then runs over to Alan, grabs him by the arm, and the two of them race into the house to wait out the downpour of whatever this was. Rebecca thinks the falling material looks like lumps of flesh, but she can't be sure. The largest piece she sees is as long as her hand and a half-inch wide. It looks gristly, like it had been torn from the throat of some animal. Another was half round in shape and about the size of a $50. A boarder known as Miss Sadie Robinson, a public school teacher, also came running inside the house, slamming the door behind her, and all three watch in shock from the farmhouse window. Miss Robinson described the mystery meat as falling in clumps and not evenly scattered like one sows oats. This rain lasted about 2 minutes, maybe more. The substance will soon cover about 100 by 50 yards on their property. It is a football field of meat. And after the meat shower let up, Miss Robinson heads outside to witness the aftermath. Several pounds of bloodied meat are strewn across the property, hanging from bushes and fences and scattered across the ground. She sees beads of bloodied flesh and sinewy muscle. The chickens and hogs then gather round, quickly chewing and gulping down the free bits of food, and the curious family cat also takes a few bites. Miss Robinson, shocked, says, "They sure seem to like it very much." As for Rebecca Crouch, she is traumatized, and she refuses to leave the house until her husband and son return from Frenchburg. Many locals catch wind of the event, and neighbors show up to Mudlick Farm to see the anomaly for themselves. A man named Harrison Gill is the first person outside of the household to witness the property, and he confirms the meat is still lying around, swarming with flies. For the otherwise boring life in Bath County, Kentucky, this supernatural occurrence is huge news. And it's such a big story that a reporter from the New York Herald knocks on the farmhouse door and interviews Rebecca about the strange event only a few days later. Rebecca says that the experience of seeing bloodied meat fall from the sky had shaken her to her core. She took it as a sign that something was very, very wrong, and she had been anxious since her husband and son, who had gone to Frenchburg, still hadn't returned. She says this, "A vague idea that my husband and son, who were away, had been torn to pieces and their remains were being brought home to me in this way by the wind flashed through my mind at the moment." Thankfully, her husband and son are perfectly fine and eventually return home unharmed. Rebecca's fears seem pretty overblown and misplaced at first, but an event in the region might have added to her paranoia, because only 12 years earlier, on June 13th, 1863, Rebecca and her family had witnessed the terror of war. Their farm fields were once the combat zone of the Civil War's Battle of Mudlick Springs, where 300 Confederate troops surprised a small Union encampment, leaving 11 men dead across the nearby property. Less of a battle and more of a massacre, this left a very strong impression on Rebecca, and these images of violence she would never be able to forget. After this New York Herald interview she gave, it's soon in print, and the story of the flesh storm circulates very rapidly. Headlines read, "The Carnal Rain," the rain of flesh, the flesh fall, the air meat, and lastly, the Kentucky meat shower. People from as far as Frenchburg become enraptured by the paranormal incident. Rebecca Crouch also says this in her interview. I was also impressed with the conviction that it was a miracle of God, which, as yet, we do not understand. It may have been a warning, as coming events are said to cast their shadows before them. This piqued the curiosity of many Kentuckians. Was this meat from God, or was it an omen? One man named Mr. Armitage touched some of the soured meat. He said this, I felt a shot in my arm that left it paralyzed, hanging by my side for half an hour. If this story wasn't already strange enough, some of the curious spectators even decided to taste the meat that had fallen from the clear blue sky. Putting it in their mouths and chewing it, they wanted to see if they could identify a flavor. A man named Mr. L.C. Frisbee, who went by Frizz, the butcher shop owner from Mount Sterling, was one of the first to taste it. He says, several persons told me it was a dangerous experiment, but I told them my constitution could stand as much of it as a rooster's or a cat's. He gives a strip of meat a nice chew before spitting it out because a kind of milky, watery fluid oozed out of it. He then says this, I cannot tell what kind of animal it came from, but it is animal meat without a doubt. He says maybe it's veal, possibly lamb. A merchant named Joe Jordan also spits out his specimen, which smells like a dead body, and he says it was leaking brown mucus. Like Frizz, Reverend J.R. Nichols compares the meat to mutton, and while C.J. Craig claims it looked like pounded beefsteak. A local hunter, Benjamin Franklin Ellington, swears that the hunks of flesh must be from a bear. The correspondent from the Herald even tries to bribe an Irish railroad worker, Jimmy Welsh, to try and take a bite, with 3 whopping American dollars, and at first he agrees but later refuses, and he says he suddenly remembered it was Lent, so he can't eat meat. Another oddball neighbor, Mr. Eli Wills, desperately wants to eat the meat, and for the full flavor profile, he wants to make a meal out of it. So he grabs a handful of the meat from the farm and stuffs it into his bag with intentions to go home and cook it. But once there, his family tries to stop him and they say it could be poisonous, maybe it's parasitic, maybe it's even cursed. But Eli is committed to eating the Empyrean protein, even if it kills him. So his family members hold him down, steal his meat from his bag, and toss it in a place outside where he would never find it. All of these folks wanting to swallow the mystery meat from the sky. Was this an incident of hysteria? Did some see the meat as a divine gift from the heavens? Was it a warning from an angry God? Was the rapture fast approaching? Was it viscera from an alien attack? Or could there be a simple, rational explanation to it all? These Kentuckians had simply become so obsessed with understanding what this fallen celestial flesh was that they put themselves in harm's way, hoping to solve the most bizarre mystery that Kentucky had ever seen. Welcome back to Do Geese See
God.
I'm your host, Austin Lee, a man who's really just made up of thousands of pieces of meat, if you think about it. And here's Jerry, as always, a dog who would scarf down bloody, nasty meat if it fell from the sky, if she was given the opportunity.
And a man.
And a man,
down bloody, nasty meat
also
falling from the sky.
We have my good friend, Mr. Lloyd here.
Yeah. It's I'm very happy to be here to talk about meat and the sky and the finally the meeting of these two things.
Yeah, I mean, when I was thinking of mystery meat, I figured, who was the first person that came to my mind when I was thinking of mystery meat falling from the sky? My good friend Lloyd.
Yeah, it's Providence.
It is Providence, and it will guide us home.
Yeah.
Lloyd and I mean, I'll let you introduce yourself, but really, I've known Lloyd for, over a decade now.
About a decade,
yeah,
give or take. Who's counting?
Yeah, who cares? Who cares anymore?
Yeah.
We lived together.
Yeah.
We were in a domestic partnership together for
It was pretty
several
good.
years. It was
Most of
good.
the time.
Sometimes we fought.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
The two men as close as they can be.
Yeah, I said no longer.
Oh, well, maybe not. I don't want anybody getting...
I will say, when I moved back to Michigan, Lloyd was the one of the first people I reached out to reconnect with because I hadn't seen you in so long. I mean, we've kind of stayed in touch, but it's hard. Dudes just don't really stay in touch as much. I feel like it's you kind of fall out, especially when you don't live near each other. You can't see each other.
It's also just like it's texting, like it feels like it's getting worse, and like one person comes off the wrong social media platform, and it feels like it's like, oh well, I guess I'm just not gonna ever hear about that person ever again.
Yeah, that's it. Are you on any social media these days?
I technically like have a Facebook that I open occasionally, but like it's so cheap.
It's so terrible.
And it does keep me off of it, but I YouTube Shorts still has its hooks in me because I got my ADHD like constant overstimulation thing going on. But
you're about to be a YouTube short. How do you feel about that?
It's what I've always wanted.
It's your dream.
I'm finally actualizing at 32 years old.
Yeah. Oh my God. The American dream, really. It's happening here live on Doogie See God. We also, before I forget, we have to introduce, as always, which is more consistent now, we have Matt and always Robert, the foundational anchor of being behind the camera forever and ever. How are you guys doing?
Living the dream.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Me
and Matt are cheek to cheek back here on one mic.
Yeah, you are. Mic. And cheek to cheek meaning face cheek.
Both ways.
Oh, yeah. I must be missing something. It's
actually quite uncomfortable to sit this way,
but Lloyd, do you remember when we would always call each other sir?
Sir.
Yeah. We lived in the same house together. We'd just scream across the house, sir. You'd walk in the door, sir.
Yeah. Hail.
Yeah. I miss those days.
Yeah. I remember the fried chicken announcements.
Oh my
was one of my favorite things. Speaking of meat.
Yeah.
We lived down the street from a you buy it, we fry it chicken and ice cream shop.
Oh my God.
And at our worst, where neither of us felt like doing anything, one of us would just say, fried chicken.
Yep.
Fried chicken.
Yeah,
and
just
some of us
scream
would
it.
get the fried chicken and bring it home, and we would eat the fried chicken. So that was one of the.
They should have just called that place Achilles' heel.
Yeah, at your lowest.
Yeah, rock bottom.
Back again.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking literally on an episode to like 2 or 3 episodes ago. I was talking about how fried chicken was my favorite food, and here we are again.
Fried.
You mentioned it a couple times.
Yeah, I can't get away from fried chicken. I guess
chicken.
I love it so much.
If only that could rain from the sky.
Oh, please!
We should be so lucky.
I know, right? Well, before I get ahead of myself, always remember to go follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts, over on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everything. We got to get on Facebook these days.
I don't know.
We might skip that one.
They're dangerous.
That algorithm could get you in trouble.
Yeah,
you
true.
could get in front of some really interesting people. You know
that I could.
Interesting is a kind word.
Yeah, a vague word too.
It's vague. I think it's very clear. There are people that I would like studied. I'm very interested.
This episode, though, we're going to be talking about meat showers, mystery meat shower from the sky. It happened in Kentucky. Do you guys, speaking of things from the sky, though, were you might have been too far east for this. 2 nights ago, did you guys hear the loudest thunderclap on the planet Earth?
Yeah.
That was the loudest thing. You know what's crazy about that? So people are like, Austin, can we get back to the meat shower? No, you guys have to hear this. I've never had this happen to me before. I sleep with the blinds closed, obviously. I like my room really dark. I sleep with rain, white noise. I was not woken up. Meat rain noise. Yeah, it's really heavy and squelching.
Yeah.
New genre.
Yeah. But no, I was not woken up by that thunder. I was woken up by the flash of lightning.
Oh, wow.
It was so bright through my blinds, into my room, through my eyelids, that I woke up because I thought someone was flashing a flashlight in my face. And then like 3 seconds later, I heard that massive boom and it like shook my whole house. I think I heard it was the lightning strike that hit some TV tower nearby or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? The other
Not-
night? You might have been far too out
Nothing.
there.
I got nothing. I'm
Okay.
too far east. I
But
think.
probably the loudest thunderclap I've ever heard. I needed to bring that up because it humbled me. It reminded me there are forces of nature that are far stronger than I am.
One day you could be struck by lightning
True.
or me.
Both things very true. Very true.
Which is more likely, actually, lightning. I think.
Getting struck by lightning is probably more likely than getting hit by meat falling from the sky. Yeah.
I mean, you'd have a hard time getting me to call lightning down on you, but I could make meat fall on you.
True. I was going to say if it's set up,
Yeah.
meat can fall on anybody.
Yeah.
Really.
This is a $10,000 idea.
Yeah.
Bring food fights
for
back.
one eccentric.
You've heard of escape rooms. But
Exactly.
have you heard of meat falling on you rooms?
Or it's more like a square outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
How much are we charging for this idea?
I did $10,000 idea. Like
$10,000 per
I think
experience?
you can find probably 10 people who would pay $1,000 each. For
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Rich people would pay
Yeah.
for that. I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They buy more ridiculous things
Yeah.
than that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Really?
buying Rivians.
Yeah.
I
Ridiculous.
think the real thing is just making a money market on a meat shower.
You might be onto something here.
Yeah, a Kalshi betting market for
You know,
meat showering.
Going to this episode, I did not consider the capitalistic value that a meat shower would have.
Dream bigger. Dream way bigger. Because everything is a market and you can set up the market and bet on it too. So, you know.
This is coming from a man who had a Lenin poster on his bedroom wall.
You know,
I like the way you think these days.
you have to know how capitalism works.
True. Know thy enemy.
Let's
Play the game.
It's
Yeah.
not even an enemy, it's just a thing.
Okay, it's not the enemy.
It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Turns out capitalism.
He's saying
just
that
a
for
thing.
his job.
Yeah. It's just a thing. You just got to understand it.
Well, we've detracted far enough from the meat shower. Have you guys had any personal stories of random things falling from the sky? I do. I'll start because I had some time to think about this one. Not that interesting, so I'll expedite it. But I was outside. I think I was playing Frisbee with my cousin. We were up north on Lake Huron, but we were in the grass before the beach, before the water, and we were out there. And all of a sudden, a huge thud hit the ground near us. It was disgusting, too. And I would go over there, and it's like a dead fish with its innards all gone. And what I think was, it was either that a fisherman got something stolen from a bird, and then they accidentally dropped it like an eagle. I mean, this fish was maybe 3 feet long. So it was a pretty big fish. And I never saw the bird. So it was meat falling from the sky. It was a meat shower of itself.
The pescatarian version.
Yeah, it was the pescatarian shower. Yeah.
I recently, in my one of many YouTube dalliances,
Ooh, big 10-cent word there.
YouTube dalliances. I watched a 20-minute documentary on Chinese cormorant fishermen.
Whoa.
Who use trained cormorants who they breed and live with to like dive in the waters in like southern China to catch fish for them.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Is it natural? It's not like in a breeding ground?
It's just like an indigenous like they like for thousands of years. Chinese fishermen.
Chinese, yeah.
Like that's. I'm just telling you what I saw in this French transliterated biography documentary that I saw on YouTube. But it's people train animals to do all sorts of stuff. And then after that, there was another one about like monkeys that they would claim that are trained to pick coconuts off trees in Indonesia. But
we are definitely getting Lloyd back on the podcast.
Yeah.
Next freak show topic we have, we're getting Lloyd back.
Any sort of pervert you can talk about. This is our guy.
We do. I mean, we do cover cults here, so
I love cults.
the perverts come through every once in a while.
Yeah.
We have one coming up, really, but
I love cults.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. He loves cults in another life.
You know,
Would you be
if
a
it gets-
leader or a follower?
Oh, I'd be a follower. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't make decisions.
For
myself?
Yeah. You need to be told what to do.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
I'm subby like that.
I don't think that's true, though. I think you're selling yourself short because this guy he immediately got into the studio and took his socks off. So you have quite a lot of agency. I think you're selling yourself short.
Austin, I didn't wear socks here. I just took my shoes off.
He walked all the way from his house
My
barefoot.
My students are always making fun of me because I don't wear socks with my shoes, and they're like, "Mr. V, you're disgusting."
Oh yeah, we didn't even introduce Lloyd as a teacher.
Yeah,
This man is molding minds of the youth. I'm not saying that sarcastically.
It's
I would
great. I love it.
You know what? As a 9th grader, I would have loved to have you as a teacher.
That's what you say as a 33-year-old.
I do have the luxury of that.
Yeah.
As a 9th grader.
As a 9th grader, I'm staying. My nephew's staying at my house right now, and I was like, yeah, like you can come sit at my computer and play my games. And he's like, Uncle Lloyd, I haven't heard of any of these video games before. Like, I was like, I'm the cool gamer uncle. And it's like, yeah, Age of Empires 2. like, I don't know what this is. You're weird and strange to me, old man. Yeah.
I know, we've become old men. That's just how it is now.
Time marches ever on.
It does. It does.
Indeed.
With all that, welcome Lloyd to the studio. And my audience, you'll get your first taste of Lloyd. Of Mr. V over here.
Your first taste of Meat Rain. Your first taste of Lloyd.
Amen.
A sumptuous experience.
But in this episode, we will be dissecting the mystery of the Kentucky meat shower. Even though the episode began with people touching and eating the meat to understand what it was, there was a surprising number of researchers who actually did their best to get to the bottom of this mystery with science. So before you tune out, it's fun science, I swear to God. There are some really solid theories as to what this meat rain even was, which we'll dig into, and we'll even propose some theories of our own. I really always love these types of episodes because it reminds me that the world truly is filled with absurd mystery and wonder. Meat can just fall from the sky. That's incredible. Like, no matter how confusing your personal life can get, how depressed you can get, just remind yourself it can always just rain bloody meat one day.
Or how happy you can get.
Oh yeah, why did
You could be having a great day and have your best outfit ruined by meat.
Thank you for
Your Sunday's best.
Yeah, that's the flip side of the coin. That really is the yin and yang.
Yeah. The little dots, the swirly.
You can
Stop being such an optimist.
You can be so you could be so depressed and then it rains meat and you're like, wow, this is incredible. Or you're having a great day. You're going in for the biggest job interview of your life.
That doesn't sound like a great day.
And you get
That sounds stressful as hell.
You're going in to open your meat shower business and make $10,000 and it's your first day at
your
work.
Kalshi insider trading.
Yeah, right.
I didn't even need to fake it.
It's real after
Free
all.
money, baby.
It's raining cash is what it's raining.
But yes, we're about to dive into the meat mystery. Before we do that, though, we need to open up this episode a little bit, get some breathing room going, and it's time for rapid fire random things falling from the sky. The coined portmanteau for living things and inanimate objects falling from the skies is fafrotskies. It's a blend of words, falls from the skies. Between 1979 and 2003, there were at least 27 documented incidents of blue ice falling from the sky. This turned out to be frozen sewage material that leaked mid-flight from commercial aircraft laboratory waste systems. Many of these chunks have torn through rooftops and even injured residents inside their homes, and it's actually still an ongoing problem. Nar! In 2015, thousands of tiny spiders fell from the sky in Goulburn, New South Wales, Australia. Matt, can you give me a Nar?
Nar.
Matt does a great Australian accent.
Can you do New Zealand, though?
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. They're like, Australians are like let's go to the Borderline. And New Zealanders are just like, you seen a Kiwi bird around here?
Oh no. Is it? I think they're just generally more nasally.
Like, where's the car? We're like, where's the cat?
Have a tinny in the arvo.
Tinny in
Can't
the
do it.
arvo.
Can't do it.
Go to the bottle.
Go to the bottle. But why were these spiders falling from the sky? They were using a migrating technique where they were launching themselves from trees, shooting their webs, and having the wind carry them. It's called ballooning, and they can sometimes travel for miles if they catch the wind just right. In the Sahara, it can look like it's raining blood because the very fine desert sands are picked up by the wind and mixed in the clouds before rainfall. So cue up Raining Blood by Slayer. And contrary to that, in 1969, it rained coffee creamer in Chester, South Carolina. From a factory, a powder mixture of non-dairy creamer leaked through air vents and into the sky where it mixed with falling rain. It dropped a goopy mess across the city, and the company didn't pay the $4,000 fine until more than 20 years later. In Yoro, Honduras, for over 100 years, fish have been found scattered across the ground after large storms rolling through the area, and it's called lluvia de peces. Lloyd?
Fish rain.
There we go. The rain of the fish. It occurs during the mid-year rainy season, and many Christians believe that it was a result of their prayers to God, hoping he would feed the hungry. Others believe that it's due to water spouts, which are similar to tornadoes, and they can suck up surrounding air, water, and small objects like a vacuum, then disperse them across an area. But what's weird about the water spouts is that they're not seen in this area in Honduras before the fish appear. And many claim that the fish have not been witnessed actually falling from the sky at all. So it's a bit of a mystery how they even get there. Maybe it is God. Around the world and throughout history, water spouts have been witnessed dropping thousands of salamanders, eggs, worms, dead birds, stones, fish, frogs, and toads. And in 2005, residents of Ojatsi, Serbia saw thousands of tiny frogs fall with passing storm clouds. In 2018, it rained iguanas during a bomb cyclone in southern Florida. Famous American writer Charles Fort, who wrote The Book of the Damned, attributed this phenomenon to an ocean in space orbiting the Earth, also called a super Sargasso space sea. Not many were sure if he was serious or not, since he was occasionally a fiction writer. So back to the meat shower. Was this story even legitimate? Well, here's what we know. The story was reported on by the New York Herald, but this publication had a shaky record way back when. They were known for dramatizing the stories they covered even before the term yellow journalism was coined, so not necessarily a trusted source. But this story was also reported on by the New York Times, the Louisville Commercial, and the Courier Journal, which were a bit more reputable. As for the family, the Crouch's grandson and daughter have been used to search genealogical databases, and there's a solid match to the family of Alan T. and Rebecca Crouch. Rebecca's daughter, Sarah, was also at the farmhouse when the meat shower began, but she was actually confined to her bed and far too sick to leave. Alan's grave marker is currently in the Upper Salt Lick Cemetery, and Rebecca is resting nearby in a separate plot. Their daughter, Sarah, died in 1941 at the age of 92. So this family and their property definitely existed. And as for the exact location, the newspapers reported the incident happening south of Olympian Springs, which is a pretty vague area. But an 1881 Bath County property map shows A.T. Crouch as the owner of a large farm with 5 structures along the Clark Fork and Salt Lick Creek. The location is on the southeast side of Kentucky State Road 36 and south of Pine Grove Road. The exact area where the meat fell isn't known, but the location of the farm has been verified. Other witnesses also gave statements to the press after the meat shower, and there's one consistent thing that all of these early witnesses said about it. If you remember, they were all eating the meat, touching the meat, what have you. But what they said was that what was scattered around the property was definitely some kind of meat. So we can all agree on that. A group of investigators from nearby Transylvania College, today Transylvania University in Lexington, described the rain as half a wagon load of pieces of fresh meat sliced into thin strips, some of it quite bloody. Others said it was about 4 gallons of meat. The largest pieces were 3 to 4 inches square. Some described it as perfectly fresh, while others said it was rotting. But the big question was, this meat, what was it? Was it an animal? Was it a human? Was it an alien? But what's wild is that this meat was not only mentioned in eyewitness statements. Actual samples were taken from the property and given to various researchers to study. These samples circulated across the country, and this meat was tossed around between eggheads for years to come. The farm owner, Alan Crouch, had gathered up some samples, and another man named Mr. Venerdsdal from Frenchburg collected 15 to 20 samples. He dried some of the pieces, others were jarred in alcohol, vinegar, or glycerin for preservation. Unfortunately, they didn't have formaldehyde for preservation until a few decades later, but any meat that was not collected was eaten up by the hogs and the chickens at the farm, and apparently the cat. The samples collected by Mr. Venerdsdal were later examined by J. Lawrence Smith. He was a professor of medical chemistry and toxicology at the University of Louisville. Even though everyone thought that this was animal meat falling from the sky, this guy said no. It was actually blobs of toad or frog spawn. He claimed it was amphibian ejaculate and eggs that were blown by the wind from a nearby pond. Do you have anything to say about that, Lloyd?
Hot.
2 months later, another opinion was published by Leopold Brandeis, a New York water treatment specialist. And in a public health journal, Leopold wrote this: "It is nothing more nor less than balls of algae known as Gnostic, well known to the old alchemists as a low form of vegetable existence. This type of aquatic bacteria has been called star jelly, witch's jelly, or troll's butter."
Hot.
And this examination later landed in Scientific American, where it gained a lot of traction. This man also couldn't help but put the samples in his mouth. Everyone loved tasting this stuff. And he said it tasted like frog or spring chicken legs. And this gooey substance ballooned up under a sharp wind and then rained down on the Crouch residence, according to him. Turned out that neither of these researchers had used chemical analysis or visual magnification. They simply looked at the samples and felt them with their fingers, maybe popped a few raw nuggies in their mouth for a few nice tastes. They argued that their claims were reinforced by other historical instances of frog ejaculate and pond gunk flying into the air, which actually they're not totally that far off. Frog spawn and pond gunk have been known to fall from the sky due to waterspouts, which I mentioned earlier. These two early examinations later fueled many, many more, and the same specimens that had been examined were later re-examined by others. And wouldn't you know it, these other researchers determined that these samples were, in fact, pieces of animal meat, not frog ejaculate or eggs, and not troll's butter.
Not hot.
Mr. J. Lawrence Smith, the frog theorist, later retracted his findings. Leopold, who said it was the pond gunk, simply never mentioned the Kentucky meat shower ever again. They were like, "You're wrong," and he's like, "I'm not."
I was never right or wrong.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me about this weird ass thing? Meat from the sky?
Never heard of it before.
I've never heard of it.
Still, these meat
Sounds
samples.
like science for free.
But still, these meat samples survived, and one of J. Lawrence Smith's students then took a crack at it, Dr. Louis Castabene. This guy's a big name in the meat mystery here. He was a medical doctor, a chemist, and a microscopist. Microscopist? Who knows? He published his opinion in 1876. He actually took a torch to the meat, burned it, and then inhaled the smoke. And he said...
I've heard of smoking meats, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah. And he said it smells distinctly like mutton.
We've been here. We've been here, have we not?
How often is this guy lighting mutton on fire and smelling it?
Yeah. Put it in your pipe, like,
Yeah.
because that's what I do with meat, strange meats. The one scientific method that I have is to fumate
smoke
the
it.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what these guys were doing? This was science back then. But finally, Castabene, he put a different sample under a microscope, and he confirmed this sample was animal tissue. It's still pretty vague, right? Animal tissue could be you, it could be me, it could be Jerry, could be a dog. It could be
The Brahma.
It's all of us. We are one.
Yeah.
But at least we narrowed it back down to animal meat of some kind. The Gnostic and the frog sperm was cast aside. Up next, the samples made their way to Dr. Alan McLean Hamilton. He was a medical doctor and attorney at law. He's a big dog.
He's been in school a long time.
Yeah. He was also, fun fact, the grandson of the founding father, Alexander Hamilton. Lloyd is a history teacher.
Yeah. Why don't they make a musical about that guy?
Yeah. Call it, what would you call it?
Hamilton
2. The frog sperm returns.
Exactly.
Yeah. He reached out to a histologist for help, J.W.S. Arnold. It's going to be tough getting through this one, but a histologist is someone who examines tissue samples of various organic things. Simple enough. I don't know where the term comes from. I didn't take Latin. Histologist?
What? This person who studies what?
Tissue samples of various organic things.
No, I don't know.
I don't know why. He turned
with an I. Hist.
I
don't know why.
I don't get it. One thing I didn't look up for this case, why they call it a histologist. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's not even a thing.
We'll all look it up afterwards.
Yeah. Someone Google search me. Someone listening, just comment where the word histologist comes from, and I'll pin it as the top YouTube comment. But anyway, he turned these samples into microscopic slides, and after examining them, he concluded they were, without a doubt, lung tissue from an animal. Hamilton also agreed. Hamilton narrowed it down to possibly a horse's lung, and what's more disturbing is that he also suggested it looked like lung tissue from a human infant.
Ugh.
I feel like lungs is the same.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying. I mean,
you know, there's once you start getting into organs, they're all like
it's all the same.
Like the difference between me and most monkeys is a little bit of skull matter, you know, technically speaking.
We are all one.
Exactly.
I had to, for my biology class in college, we had to dissect a fetal pig, which, yeah, some people opted out of that one.
Yeah.
That was brutal. It smelled horrific.
I did a rat.
Yeah, rats. But I didn't know until then a fetal pig is actually extremely similar to human fetus. They're very close.
As far as I'm not a doctor. As far as
what?
As far as your organs go, like once there was a body evolutionarily speaking that worked, there's not that much in mammalia where you got much to improve on.
Yeah, we're all
like I feel like it's all in glands. Like lungs, you get lungs right. All lungs is lungs.
Oh, we're talking glands now. We're gonna talk glands.
Glands or glands?
Glands.
Another physician and microscopist.
I feel like that's a job anybody could have.
Yeah, just put the thing in there and put it in focus, right?
I have access to a certain level of disposable income at this time period. Bring me your things. I'll look at them closer than you can.
This is either a horse or a child.
You get this close, I really can't tell the difference, it turns out. I don't know why they're the Beatles now.
You know.
But this other guy, Arthur Edwards, he gathered as many meat samples as he possibly could, 7 in total, and he confirmed they were all animal lung tissue, striated muscle, cartilage, and connective tissue. Okay, it's a bit more now. And there is a resounding agreement with his analysis in the scientific community, but they simply didn't know which animal it belonged to. Still, they just had no idea. Edwards also embedded the samples in Canada balsam, which is tree resin, on microscope slides. And if you think of like amber that preserves the mosquitoes in Jurassic Park, kind of like that.
And the ones in real life.
Yeah. No, this is a science fiction thing. But the reason that I bring this up is that this is why these slides still exist to this day, because he put it in Canada balsam. Sweet. The last update on these slides, they are owned by a private antique slide collector. Yes, there are private antique slide collectors.
That makes sense.
Microscope slide collectors. And he is a retired biology professor, Frank Reiser. More recently, he has confirmed that the slide he owns is lung tissue, and he sometimes puts it on public display, like in a library. And recently, Transylvania University's art professor, Kurt Godey, became very interested in the meat shower after he found an old glass jar in university storage, and it was closed with a cork, and inside it contained a chunk of white, fatty meat suspended in pale yellow liquid. He read the words Olympia Springs on the label, and he believed that this was actually a sample of the mystery meat. The university's biology department then ran a sample of the meat through a gene sequencer, but its results were inconclusive since it was so old and contaminated. But the results suggested that the meat was possibly similar to a goat. We're all mammals here. We are all one. All right, so
Nipple gang.
nipple gang, rise up. So we know that this was possibly some horse meat. This was possibly maybe some goat meat. We've kind of narrowed it down. But the next questions were, how and why did this meat randomly fall from the sky? And where did the meat come from? Lloyd, with what you do know about this case, do you have any out-of-the-box guesses as to where this meat came from?
It's obviously biblical.
That's funny. I was actually going to interrupt whatever you were saying and say you're wrong. The answer is God.
Yeah.
Because
the answer is always God.
Exodus 16:4, God tells Moses, I will cause food to fall from the sky. This food will be for you to eat.
And eat they did.
And eat they did. The manna.
And everybody was munching on sky meat.
The manna from the sky.
Yeah.
They ate
Lung meat.
That's funny you said that. He didn't know what was on here. That's why we're friends.
Do you know why?
The big man.
Yeah.
Big guy upstairs.
Give it up to God. Catholic God, though.
Yeah, only the Catholic
Only
one.
Catholic God, Protestant God.
The one that makes me feel shame and guilt. I like that one.
The Protestant one does too, but only if you believe.
That's right. You grew up, what, Lutheran?
UCC. That's United Church of Christ. Detractors, Presbyterians, Lutherans might call them Unitarians considering Christ.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Too wishy-washy and liberal to instill me with any sort of real belief.
He doesn't mean liberal in the political way. Liberal as in they're wearing jeans and telling mass, right?
Yeah, that I mean, like, also liberal. Not to be like too political.
Like,
yeah. No.
No, say what you want to say.
So here. It's just, Protestants. I can take this off now.
All right, before we get too off track here, back to God, actually. Hey, the channel is called Doogie See God, right? We have to bring him up every once in a while. But I wonder if that's why people were so interested in eating the meat when it first fell.
Mm-hmm.
Because were they just interested in
taking
flesh? I think, these circumstances are very similar to something you hear about in mythologies like the Bible, especially the plagues in Egypt.
Yeah.
And while some thought it was
frog
possibly
spunk.
Yeah, frog spunk. Who knows? well, some
people dying to get their mouths around some frog spunk.
always. Apparently, some people. But while some thought it was possibly cursed meat, like the opposite end, others might have connected it to God falling from the heavens. And if you guys remember, if you watched the Coconut Cult episode, we talked about the simple concept of how God is up, God is in the sky. So maybe they thought that this meat did have some divine qualities to it. Who knows? Others saw it, like I said, as the exact opposite, like a warning from an angry God or something demonic. Even if you go to, the Odyssey is in vogue. You're actually going to see it later tonight.
I
think we already saw it and it was awesome. But in Homer's Iliad, Zeus sends blood rain to warn of an upcoming slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
So it is just a concept of these gods throwing things down at us and us to kind of expect or understand what it means. But in contrary to that opinion, nothing negative happened in the region after this. So if it was an omen, it's not really clear what it was even alluding to.
Get out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Move north.
Yeah, right.
Quieres norte.
Yeah, Quieres norte. I learned that when I worked landscaping. But as far as I could find, besides the meat tasting terrible, the men who ate it didn't have any negative side effects either, and they certainly didn't have any positive side effects. So it's neither God nor Satan. Or maybe it is.
It's all God.
Give
it up.
Oh, God.
Also, it's important to remember that in the 1870s, when we look at these people eating the meat, we just started to come around to germ theory at this time. Surgeons just started to wash their hands. Plus, we weren't really regulating the meat industry that well until like the late 1800s, early 1900s. I don't think Upton Sinclair's The Jungle came out until the early 1900s. So, I know I'm judging them for eating this, but
also you're in Kentucky, like the rural Kentucky, like before I think industrialization has really set its hooks in.
Sure.
So like, because when you said meat rain, I was like, okay, we're gonna like.
Yeah, what was the Rorschach test?
It's just an industrial accident. Like, we're just gonna talk about another industrial accident. They happen every day.
Yeah, right. But no, it's very rural, very natural out here. Which adds even more mystery to this case. Because, in an industrial world, if meat fell from the sky today, it would be like, that's okay. What plane hit something?
I mean,
like,
there's not a meat packing place near us in Detroit, but like I'm sure at any given place, there's a meat packing plant or something. And
there was like one single one in Denver, which caused a huge stink. Literally and metaphorically a stink in the city. But
I lived in Bay City as a child, and there was like a big sugar beet factory, and it smelled really weird.
Yeah,
sugar beets. I don't know if anybody knows it. Like sickly sweet sugar beet smell.
No, they made what was it? There was the Purina factory in Denver, which smelled. It stinks so bad.
You're microdosing a meat rain pretty much all the time, if that's the case.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like, you are,
and it's probably lungs and stuff, and the viscera.
Yeah,
because it's like dog food. Yeah, no, but it smelled like it. I was out there lighting it on fire,
smoking it.
Yeah,
it smells like mutton.
Yeah.
But let's get to some theories. One simple idea that could explain the mystery meat shower is that this whole thing was just one big hoax. I know that's not fun, but this skepticism was brought up early on in the local publications, and a neighbor allegedly claimed that Rebecca Crouch wanted to sell the farm and move to Illinois, but her husband, Alan, did not want to go. So maybe she scattered meat around the farm and made up the whole story while her husband was gone in Frenchburg, so that when he got back, he would be so disturbed by the meat that they would leave. She even told the interviewer that she thought the meat, for a moment, was the remains of her husband and son. So was that just a way to amplify this fear? It's possible, but many point out that the amount of meat and the size of the area where it was dropped could have been too much for Rebecca to manage. She was a bit older, plus she seemed genuinely traumatized by the event at the time, so some cast some doubt on that theory. Another hoax theory proposes that the young boy Alan threw meat around the property to scare his grandmother. That's also possible, but how would this little kid have access to several gallons of shredded horse meat and then lug it around the farm and throw it around a football field-sized area? I don't know. It's possible, but
what was he doing at the time? He said it was snowing when
he was.
Well,
yeah,
I mean that's fake,
he wasn't
right?
that far from Rebecca too. They were in earshot of each other, so I think she would have seen if he was up to something weird with a bunch of meat.
Yeah.
But it is possible.
Rural Kentucky, you don't just go throwing away good sausage casing.
That too. That's actually really important. This is a farm.
Yeah.
They need to make money.
And they're going to do it by sensationalist press and tourism and strange people who want to come eat strange meat.
That is the crazy thing. I couldn't find any evidence of them charging for people to come by. So they didn't make money on this. Exactly. They maybe made money in some other indirect ways.
If only Kalshi was around.
This episode is not sponsored by Kalshi.
No. Or whatever anyone's wondering. Money market, FanDuel or whatever. You can do anything anywhere these days. It's not really important where you go, but you know, the money's out there to be made.
Yeah,
people.
I'm gonna put a parlay on this on meat raining tomorrow.
You can put a parlay on this episode
right now.
Yeah.
What are we gonna bet?
What Lloyd says. I don't know. That's for the money market.
Throw it in the comments, whatever bet you want to place on the rest of this episode. I don't condone betting by any means, but hey,
I'm straight up. I'm Suna. I'm of the Suna when it comes to gambling. I don't get it. I work way too hard for my money.
Right. It's such a waste.
But if we could guarantee something to happen on Kalshi, that is an investment.
So this isn't a gamble. This is just manipulating the gambling market.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at.
Exactly.
Yeah. We would never be in any hot water
No.
over something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
They'll never catch us. Some other half-baked theories on the meat falling from the skies. Secret military bioweapons testing. I'll be honest.
Now you got me.
This
God.
It ends there. That's the whole theory.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, this theory must be in every unsolved case ever. It's just a weapons.
It's the government.
I think.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Ulysses S. Grant in a nuclear lab with like a coat and everything? I think that this might be a little bit before that time, before World War
We're
I.
trying out this cannon that's going to eviscerate a horse. Yeah. Like, come on.
Military
to
just
pieces.
it's the biggest cannon ever.
Some call it a rail gun.
They shoot rail spike.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We're off the rails here. And I love it. I love it. Some other half-baked theories. An occult ritual gone wrong or possibly gone right, depending on how you think about it.
Give it up to God.
Yeah, give it up to God. Or it was several people in a hot air balloon losing their lunch. It's lame. These are lame. I'm not saying that these are the legit
Losing their
ones.
lunch.
We're getting into that. Another theory for the Kentucky meat shower is that two Kentucky brothers had gotten into a knife fight, an incredibly bloody and violent knife fight.
The brothers?
They actually, classic brothers. How did they determine that? Who knows? They actually cut each other to bits, and then as their dismembered corpses lay out in a field, a whirlwind or possibly a big twister picked up their carnage and then cast it over the Crouch farm.
Tore their rended bodies into shreds and cast it among the hills of northern Kentucky.
Precisely.
Okay.
Another theory came from 19th century writer and humorist William Livingston Alden. He wrote a New York Times article published in 1876, and he said this: "The obvious conclusion is that the Kentucky shower of meat was really a meteoric shower." He said that meteoric stones constantly revolve around the sun, and there's also a giant belt of venison, mutton, and other meats divided into small fragments, which are precipitated about the earth. He said that the scientists previously theorized that these meteors were the result of exploded planets, and the meat showers were inhabitants of those planets, or possibly the livestock.
It's very in the aeroplane over the sea theory.
Can you give us a line? Can you
science
sing it?
Yeah.
Can you sing it for us?
What a beautiful face in Bath County, Kentucky, where the meat
Yes.
does fall from the sky. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Where there's meat on the ground and there's meat all around. Here the meat is it's sitting on top of my house. Soft and meat. Does swinging, breezing through the trees is meat. Just meat.
I like how you have to grip the microphone.
A regular Jeff Mangum over here.
Anyway.
Magnum.
Yeah, so we go from one humorist back to the other, William Livingston Alden. The other one is Mr. V over here. But the other one, William Alden, he urged for better technology to track meat rain weather patterns because he says light showers of beefsteak may be looked for in the New England and Middle States during the morning, followed by a heavy rain of mutton in the afternoon.
Cute guy.
Yeah, he's being
Love
cute.
him.
Others joked about it being dinosaur meat from a crashed meteor. But you know what irks me, Lloyd? This
As your roommate?
this Alden guy thinks it's just a But this Alden guy, he thinks it's just a joke, and all these people just want to make fun of the outer space theories. But did they consider this? An unmanned biosurveyor drone, fully automated and incredibly stealthy, harvested several animal carcasses in the area of Bath County. Why? To conduct terrestrial biomass research, of course. Their alien home planet had been hit with large-scale bioweapons. Their livestock had been destroyed by the resulting disease. They have culled 95% of their cattle in only 3 years, and it's only getting worse by the day. There's no end in sight. From a distance, they see the livestock boom during post-Civil War construction in the U.S., so they need to know if the livestock here on Earth is safe for ingestion before committing to full-scale invasion. Not only that, but they need samples of the healthy protein architecture so they can try to synthesize enough meat samples before their energy reserves deplete on their home planet. Is everyone keeping up so far?
More or less.
Okay, but now you might ask, well, why did some of the samples fall from the surveyor onto the farm?
Because they were the parts that didn't taste good.
That's an astute observation, Lloyd, but it's incorrect. I'm sorry. It's because the onboard...
I don't know anything about aliens.
It's because the onboard artificial intelligence, after processing the animals and the biodata from the collected tissue samples, miscalculated where it needed to eject its excess waste. Because you see, these unmanned drones are made with incredibly lightweight alloys.
Alloys.
Jacob Alloydy?
Think of titanium alloy, but like 1,000,000 times lighter, right? The ship needs to be lightweight so it doesn't exhaust the fuel required for traveling through Earth's atmosphere. Therefore, it can only take microscopic biosamples and then eject the rest of the very heavy samples it collects so the ship doesn't burn through its limited fuel supply.
That's nice and all, but I think aliens are more like just like an Italian guy throwing chicken bones out the window of his car.
It's done. That was like us back in the day.
Yeah.
But, as we know it, AI makes mistakes. While it tried to eject the meat, or maybe it just was some guy throwing it out, but maybe it was AI, who knows? It was trying to eject the meat into a remote area so that scavengers could collect it, but it didn't adjust for the slight wind. Do you remember the slight wind was coming in from the west that day?
The slight wind? You mean the one that also eviscerated those knife-fighting brothers?
Yes.
Those are the knife-fighting beaver boys. They're always knife fighting.
We're now conflating theories. I like this.
We're all interconnected.
Yes,
this
true.
Is the multiverse theory of meat showering.
This is the theory of the multiverse theory.
Yeah.
But you really, you can't predict the weather. So at about 60 miles above sea level, the stealth surveyor miscalculated its payload drop, accidentally raining the animal viscera on the Crouch family farm, resulting in a 150-year mystery. Did everyone follow that theory? Thank God. This is my personal official theory for the case, by the way. Original Austin theory. Before we get into one last big theory, pretty much the accepted theory, what's wild is that this meat shower is not an isolated incident. 2 similar storms have been documented over the years. 35 years earlier in Tennessee, 2 farmhands were working on a tobacco farm and they heard what sounded like rain hitting the leaves of the tobacco plants surrounding them, a familiar sound. But much like the Kentucky meat shower, the skies were clear and blue, and when they looked around, they saw the plants were coated in small strips of meat covering hundreds of feet in every direction. It was described as putrid flesh or a bloody gluttonous matter concreted. The farmhands then ran to get the owner, F.M. Chandler, who then got 2 others from a nearby town to investigate. The matter was described as thinly scattered, probably a drop for every 10 or 15 feet, although irregularly dispersed. It covered about 200 square feet in total, and the largest piece measured 1.5 inches by a half inch. It looked mostly of muscle and fat, and it stank to high heavens, and samples were brought to the University of Tennessee, Nashville. Dr. Gerard Troost confirmed they were bloodied pieces of meat, specifically, quote, unquote, of this world. He felt like he actually had to clarify this because people saw the event as a signal of the end times. Makes sense. This next one is even more demonic. 8 years after the Kentucky meat shower, a woman named Bass Laster, who went by Kit, stood outside her farm.
Sorry.
Oh, what's funny?
My name was Bass Laster. I'd go by Kit too.
Bass Laster.
We also had Frisbee earlier. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But she was standing outside her farmhouse in Chatham, North Carolina. She heard what sounded like splattering of rain for about a minute in her freshly plowed field, but she felt nothing fall on her. and looking around, she saw droplets of blood all over the place. She then ran over to the nearby cabins to tell the neighbors, and many thought it was either a message from the divine or the demonic. As always, some neighbors collected samples of the blood-soaked dirt, thinking they would become religious relics, and samples were later taken to the University of North Carolina. Professor Venable, who would later become the university's president, confirmed there were red blood cells in the soil and the spectral lines similar to hemoglobin. But by the time he visited the farm, too much time had passed and the rain had washed it all away. Professor Venable later said it could have been soil from where a pig was recently slaughtered, so we'll never know if it was truly a proper blood rain. All right. So here's one of the most prominent theories surrounding the mystery. We're going to jump into it. We're going back to Dr. Louis Castabene, if you guys remember him. He was the one who smoked the meat and inhaled it. Mm-hmm. He also examined it under a microscope. He believed that the meat was fresh when it fell from the sky, and he wrote this in his explanation in 1876. The only plausible theory explanatory of this anomalous shower appears to me to be that suggested by the old Ohio farmer. The disgorgement of some vultures that were sailing over the spot from their immense height. The particles were scattered by the prevailing wind over the ground. The variety of tissue discovered, muscular, connective, fatty, structureless, etc., can be explained only by this theory. This vulture theory is the earliest and most prominent theory for explaining the mystery of the Kentucky meat shower. And the idea is pretty simple. The tissue samples that were collected from the farm most likely would have been something consumed by vultures, since they're scavengers, plus black vultures and turkey vultures were common in Kentucky, especially in this region. And they're sometimes known for vomiting partially digested food. Sometimes it's so they can lighten their load before takeoff. Oftentimes they do this when they feel threatened or startled as a defense mechanism, and they can projectile vomit up to 10 feet. So since the area where the meat was found was about the size of a football field, this would track with a big flock of birds purging all at the same time. So this gastric ejecta, disgorgement, vomitus, emesis regurgitation theory is widely considered the most plausible theory. Do you like those words, Lloyd?
I've never been so turgid.
However, it's also the most contested theory since it does have some issues. Reportedly, this meat shower lasted for 2 minutes, possibly up to 10 minutes, according to different sources. Even if the flock was huge and there was a bunch of vultures, could they have been regurgitating meat for several minutes straight? Unlikely. Were they flying in circles overhead and constantly vomiting over several minutes?
They are known to fly in circles.
But isn't that when they're around prey? I mean, maybe there was prey.
Yeah, maybe they're like, oh, the thing that I just ate was crap. This is much better meat.
It's a big toilet bowl that they're swirling in. But the quantity, if you remember, was anywhere from 4 gallons of meat to a half of a wagon, whatever that is. Some reports even claimed it was enough to fill up a full horse wagon of meat. Could they be regurgitating that much meat? How many vultures would it take to vomit up that much meat?
That seems like such a Kentucky metric of half a wagon, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Did
like
you know that wagon measurements have been the same since Roman times?
one wagon load.
One wagon load.
The
the roads, Romans built roads as wide as we do now.
That's true.
Is this a regulation size wagon?
Yeah, that's the train tracks, same width as roads.
He is correct. That is a fun fact. Lloyd's finally not telling a joke, and he's dropping some knowledge on us.
Yeah.
I'm not critiquing your joke either. Yeah, he is a teacher, and we're learning. We are learning. But if there was a flock of vultures in the sky, it would have had to have been a massive flock to drop this amount of meat.
Are they social birds?
They are social. They hang out together.
Like how social? They're not like starlings.
Well, even when they're not feeding, they're like hanging out in trees together.
They're grabbing some beers.
And they fly together. Yeah, they do fly together. So it's maybe possible. Fun fact. A group of vultures flying in the sky is called a kettle.
A kettle?
A group hanging out in a tree, a committee.
A committee of vultures.
And get this.
That's a cute one.
You need to guess this next one. You're going to like it. A group gathering to consume a dead animal is called a...
buffet?
No, but I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's the best I got.
Robert, Matt, do you have any guesses?
I have no idea. No clue.
They're called a wake.
Oh.
Makes sense, right?
I
Anyway,
like that one.
yeah, it's good.
That's cute.
Yeah, right? This massive kettle would have been easy to spot in the sky. So think about that. It was reportedly a clear sunny day, but neither Rebecca nor Alan nor Miss Robinson claimed there were any birds in the sky while it was showering.
Apparently some sort of breeze, though, depending on how processed the viscera could have been. It could have been,
It was ballooning.
yeah, ballooning viscera.
Title of this episode.
Yes.
So, I mean, also, could they have just missed the flock in the sky? Maybe.
I mean, the moment I think you'd look up, you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I have some added stats, which were
Okay.
surprising to me. Really.
Statistics are great.
Yeah, the U.S. National Park Service, according to them, turkey vultures can reportedly fly up to altitudes of 5,000 feet.
Yeah.
Some sources say even higher when they're scoping out the area. Some sources, which I didn't trust them, said as high as a commercial airliner. Tens of thousands of feet.
Could they get altitude sickness at that point?
Who knows? That's a good question. But even if at the lowest, 5,000 feet, that's really, really high up. It is possible that there was a huge kettle of vultures and they projectile vomited way up there. Maybe the witnesses didn't see them. It's plausible. That's why I think
Could they have been so high that they were eating from the meat belt? What's the name of that sordid man who did that song?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I hope he's forgotten in the zeitgeist.
He's here.
Deep in. I mean, I just sang his song.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a hypocrite, I guess.
Yeah. I remember watching the music video to that one a while ago.
Yeah. What were you going to say, though?
Tell me.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Back to the vultures.
Could the vultures have flown so high that they were able to take bites from the meat belt? And
I like the conflating theories. Yeah.
They're all connected as far as I know. I'm taking a magical realist perspective that they're all equally the same.
Yeah, the only thing not connected is the meat tissue.
Exactly.
That's strewn across the field.
Yeah. And of course God's above all them all, making it all happen. Exactly. That's what I say, because if you put it on God, then anything that happens can all be, and it becomes more evident that it's God the more ridiculous the thing that happens is.
True. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen. I got some more stats. Some reported that the meat was pretty fresh when they inspected it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? But vulture vomit is typically highly acidic and it smells awful. Their gastric acid is as strong as battery acid.
Awful?
Yes.
I should say so, with an O.
Leave a comment if
Bye.
you got the joke.
There you go. Have a good night.
Their gastric acid is as strong as battery acid, 100 times stronger than acid found in human stomachs. So the reason for this, it helps the birds neutralize toxins like anthrax and botulism since they're eating decaying meat, right? Very dangerous to eat.
I mean, it did a good enough job purifying where Engelbert Humperdinck could smoke a pipe of it. So,
hey, that is the grandson of Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
You put some respect on that. I don't even know if
Hamilton
it was him,
Humperdinck or whatever his name is. I'm terrible with names, but it's also being a teacher.
Knowing this, though, if this is the most plausible theory, right? If they're vomiting out all this meat, what does that mean for the guys that were just picking it up and eating it?
I mean,
that's gross.
Yeah, but it's like the late 1800s.
I like how much of a contrarian Lloyd is. He's going to be like, nah, it's not that. It's not.
Always has a retort.
The battery acid raw meat, lung meat, not that bad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad, but I mean, people eat everything all the time.
You heard it here first.
I eat McDonald's, or I used to.
What's worse?
I'm a new man.
What's worse, McDonald's or battery acid meat?
Partially processed,
digested vulture vomit.
I like to think that the vulture vomit would have been like in the top of the stack, so maybe these birds full to bursting. I assume they're birds. They don't have teeth to chew, so they got gizzards, right?
Sure.
And so there's some meat that's still in there, and I'm thinking if anything's getting thrown up, it's like that's the first out.
Okay.
They got the window seats on the airplane, and then that's the first stuff to go. And you got to think these people are like, everybody's like, no, don't eat the meat, and like these bros. These guys who are like, oh, I'm going to come eat the strange meat. They're shopping for the best cuts. They're going through and they're like,
this is just a grocery store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's free meat.
Yes.
It's free meat. You get like the freakish people. Like they're like,
hey, I heard there was some meat on the ground at this farm.
You have to be, particularly perverse to like look at the grossest, smelliest piece of meat and be like, yeah, that's the one I want. It's a field full of meat, so you get the best pieces.
So this was a market in your eyes.
Not in the capitalist sense.
It was a proper free market. It's a free market.
Completely free market.
Free enterprise.
Just as
No
Adam
one's
Smith
making
has intended. Yeah.
Laissez-faire meat market.
Hands off my meat.
But anyway, that's Lloyd's take. And this vomit theory is still the most generally accepted. So,
I would say it's not the most, well, God.
Besides God, this one is the most generally accepted.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Any thoughts on this one, guys, behind the desk?
I feel like the vulture, it seems pretty plausible. That's what I would guess if I had to.
I
really
really, actually, I take it back. The idea of a military testing where just a bunch of guys blowing up farm animals in the Cumberland Gap, just letting loose.
It's the early MIC.
Exactly.
They're out there. They're like, this is our prototype.
We got a cannon with 2 barrels.
This is our proof of concept. We have to prove to the U.S. government that we can eviscerate a horse in one shot.
We need a stealth weapon.
That's why
Can't leave any trace of the animal. Nobody can tell what died.
and that's what maybe that's why they thought it was a shower. They didn't hear the boom go off because it was a stealth weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Just some heavily suppressed, just a football field length compressor. They're like, we found out why cannons are loud and we can make them quiet.
Yeah, and it eviscerated the horse so well that it was raining for minutes.
I could spread a whole horse over a football field
Yeah.
if I can enough pieces. You cut that thing up nice and fine, I can spread that out.
They took the newspaper articles
Yeah.
and then that's how they sold their weapon to the government.
Yeah.
They're like, look, we weren't even detected. They had no idea. They had absolutely no idea.
What the real crappy part about it was?
What's that?
World War I comes around and would not be efficient, completely obsolete by that time. All the horses and farm animals that lost their lives. I like the military testing angle.
All right.
I'm gonna be.
Yeah,
you know,
might
all
be
that,
changing my
Vulture-
mind on this now.
Vulture is good. I like Vulture, but like the idea that like the first Area 51 was just shooting horses with cannons is really my favorite thing. Like,
near a farm,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
They're like in an area where there are people nearby.
the dawn of industrial capitalism. The old world is dying. The new one is struggling to be born.
Yeah.
Horses are getting blown up with
Right.
cannons.
It's the earliest inception of Lockheed and Martin
Yeah,
out there with their cannons.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. All right. I mean, we got that. I like Lloyd pivoted pretty hard there, but I like that theory. You guys have anything?
I got nothing that's going to top.
No.
Yeah, that's the best one, I think.
Yeah.
Take that as a compliment, Lloyd.
Give it up to God and the U.S. government.
But to cap it off, the meat shower has left its mark on Kentucky history. And here's a little bit of an epilogue. In 2007, art professor Kurt Godey was inspired by the meat shower incident. So he tried to replicate the flavor profile of the meat. He had a taste lab analyze flavor compounds from the sample that he found in his university. And he made meat-flavored jelly beans and handed them out at Court Days Festival. Some said they tasted like raw bacon, rotten lamb, or strawberry pork chop. Quite a
Strawberry pork chop.
quite a bit of a difference.
It tastes like strawberry pork chop, a deal that I, as a Kentuckian, have on a regular basis.
Godey himself actually tried one, and he said this: "The taste, frankly, is so vile, I remember thinking it was really strong. The first one I ate tasted like chemicals and sugar. Yum."
So it's a jelly bean?
Yeah, it tastes like a regular jelly bean.
The man's just eating jelly beans over here.
But you're telling me these come in booger flavor.
Yeah, the birdie bots.
Yeah.
Today, there's an annual Kentucky Meat Shower Festival held in Owingsville, Bath County. Professor Godey contributes to the festival every single year, and it features a mystery meat chili cook-off, of course, a bologna toss, a meatball toss, and of course, a hot dog eating contest.
I thought you were going to say toss.
Hot dog toss. They also drop 1,876 vacuum-sealed meat sticks from a plane to simulate that 1876 meat shower.
Yes, Slim Jim Rain.
Slim Jim. And they actually celebrated the 150th anniversary of the original meat shower this very year.
Oh,
Shouts out. But moving on from that, this is the physical media portion. And, before we even get into the physical media, do you have it with you, Lloyd?
no. I have something.
It's
Some of you may
in
have
pieces.
noticed.
Yeah.
Some of you eagle-eyed or vulture-eyed individuals.
If you throw on the 4K and zoom in, this is Lloyd in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Lloyd, I tell him the whole gist of physical media, where it's like usually you bring a movie, a book, a record, or whatever. And he goes, well, what is your, what do you
gotta get closer.
Yeah. He brings in one, we almost didn't have a physical thing of any kind, because he's like, let's do 30,000 pounds of bananas, the song.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Do the hand thing, Lloyd. Do the.
and he,
Oh wait, I'm an amateur. There we go. What's up?
so he says the physical media is going to be 30,000 pounds of bananas, right?
It's a song by American.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get into it, but this is how he proposes the song, because I'm like, okay, well, do we have the physical media portion of it? And he said something along the lines of, it was a burned CD. It was on a burned CD. I said, well, do you have the burned CD? He said, it's probably in a. What did you say?
I said I could probably spiritually conjure it from the carcass of my dad's 2006 titanium green Ford Escape, because it's probably in the CD changer of that particular vehicle in a junkyard somewhere.
So the physicality does exist somewhere out there.
It does. The original live track listing, all out of order, because it's a burned copy of the album. But it was from Harry Chapin Live, which I'm sure most people are familiar with the song Cats and the Cradle. The whole thing.
Yeah.
The meat's gonna rain again.
Yeah. But there's a song on that live recording called 30,000 Pounds of Bananas. And that's the song that, because I was originally thinking, Austin said Meat Rain. I was like, Industrial Accident, of course. And I was thinking food related industrial accidents and media, and like the first thing that came through, in 2006 I would have been what? How old were you in 2006?
I can't
do math.
I got this. I was
13.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
An indelible point in a child's life.
Yeah.
And I heard that song a lot. I thought the subject matter was funny. It's about a over the road trucker who's hauling
bananas.
30,000 pounds of bananas. Yeah. And eventually he loses control of the vehicle and slips all over these bananas, leading to his demise. So that's what I thought. And so it would have felt dirty to bring like a shrink wrapped new version of the album, and eventually I'll dig through crates and find Harry Chapin Live. It's a great album, great live album. one of those 1970s singer-songwriter guys. Like, we just couldn't keep him alive in the 70s.
Yeah.
they like, cancer, plane crash.
Yeah, plane crash. I was talking about things
Yeah.
falling from the sky.
Yeah,
a lot of them
exactly.
were dying in plane accidents or
exactly.
helicopter accidents. Yeah.
And so, one of the many gone too soon, known just for Cats in the Cradle, mostly. 30,000 Pounds of the Bananas is, a great song. He does a song on that album called Let Time Go Lightly, which I think more people should know. But I printed out a bunch of little spilled banana crates in my 3D printer. And here, I'm just going to get out. Hopefully.
Yeah. Show the folks at home. Hopefully, maybe. I think the focus is not going to get there. I'm sorry. But yeah, tiny little banana crates. You know what? Maybe I'll take a picture of them and then I'll just do it as an overlay. I'll send it to our editor.
Not 30,000 pounds of bananas, but maybe 1/30,000th of a pound of bananas.
Yeah, a very, very small amount.
Yeah.
But it's based on a real incident, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
In
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
This
Yeah.
place that seems to come up in the cultural memory and zeitgeist more than it deserves.
Yeah,
Like,
The Office,
The
Joe
Office,
Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
That's at the
We
song.
used to build things.
We used to build things. Scranton, Pennsylvania. Woolworth Rider. Thanks for the Great Lakes. That's
yeah,
my
it was.
favorite. Whoa, Earth Rider. Thanks for the Great Lakes.
That is pretty good.
That's one of my
That's pretty
favorite
good.
things to have ever happened. And I wish I could hear somebody say that every day.
Yeah,
Like the crow
if only.
of a rooster. Whoa, Earth Rider.
That's what you'd wake up
Whoa,
to.
Earth Rider. Thanks for the Great Lakes. Thank you, Joe Biden.
But yeah, it's about this man driving this truck. He loses control, brake failure, mechanical failure of some kind. He's going 90 miles an hour through like a residential area, dodges as much as he can. He's sideswiping cars and stuff, smashes into a house, something. He's the only one that dies,
like 34
though.
telephone poles.
Yeah, ton of stuff.
A ton of things. Yeah.
But he's like actively dodging people.
Yeah.
And then he eventually hits a house, I believe.
Yeah.
He dies, the driver, but everyone else survives. I think 15 are injured or something along those lines. And then obviously the 30,000 pounds of banana. And then I think it was from that incident, they actually put a weight limit. Because you know how there are weight limits for trucks? Because he was way overweight, and they think that's what contributed to.
Songs about trucking. Bring back songs about
Yeah, nobody does it anymore.
Another song, Willin' by Little Feat.
Oh, love that. Yeah.
It's a great one. Big Little Feat guy.
Yeah, what is it? Weed, whites, and wine.
You show me
Sign. Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, that one's good.
Trucking, Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Keep trucking. Got my chips cashed in.
Yeah, it's because we've made truckers not cool. And I think truckers are cool. And I think they're allowed to be cool.
Yeah. This episode has been nice because it feels like I'm watching the show. I'm finally not really the spotlight here, but moving
I don't
on.
know anything about what I'm doing at all.
But moving into the Q&A segment, this is from BFishy0724. As a Make It to the Ender, I'd love to ask Robert a question. What were your first thoughts when Austin pitched this show to you? Are you enjoying being involved in it thus far?
So first thought,
You can be honest.
I'm going to be completely honest. So my first thought when you told me this was, this is the most Austin idea ever.
Cool.
Like throughout college, I'm pretty sure you even wrote during high school, but like writing was like a huge like part of your life, I would say.
Right.
And then storytelling too, watching you like tell, us or like other friends a story, you would get like, you could tell you were passionate about it. So when you told me this idea, I'm like, oh yeah, this makes complete sense. And, yeah, I love being part of this. It's incredibly fun. I love doing research, doing behind the scenes stuff. Thumbs up.
Yeah, you've been great at it. That was very wholesome and heartwarming. I also want to say, when I pitched Robert the show, I didn't even really have the idea down yet. I was just saying, hey, I think I was home for Christmas or something, and I was like, hey, I'm starting my own show. And period. That was like the whole conversation. And it was actually Robert kind of reached out to me to say, I want to be, whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of it because you didn't want to do your job anymore. So you wanted to move.
I was like, you need someone help. You need someone to help with research?
Yeah. And I was like, well, hang on to your job because we're not going to be making that much money.
It's too late. I quit.
No, he did not, because I cannot supplement your income here, which is why everyone should go check out the Patreon and the YouTube members. But no, I remember it. He was just so on board right out of the gate. And so was my cousin Kelly. You guys were both. Immediately you hopped on. You didn't even give a damn what I was doing. You just were so excited about it and wanted to be a part of whatever project that I was bringing together. And that meant so much to me, really, to have that support. So
it just felt like a natural next step for you, essentially.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like I said, with the previous passion for storytelling and writing, the experience that you had with your previous job, I was like, when you told me, I was like, oh yeah, this makes complete sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had faith in me, as well as my cousin Kelly. Shouts out to both of you for just having so much faith in me and all my fans.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I mean, Robert and Kelly are working the gears back here quite a lot, and they work with me day in, day out. And Robert works his full job, and so does Kelly, and they both come through for me to make these episodes. So, extend my love to both Robert and Kelly. And then, are you enjoying being involved thus far?
Oh yeah,
nice. I know you guys show up every week. It's awesome. It means a lot. And then for Austin, what about Robert made you want to work with him on the pod over anyone else in your life?
I mean, look at the guy.
Handsome, smart, the total package.
Sweetheart.
I mean, I'll be honest, because Robert, he reached out to me and he was like, do you need help doing research?
Yeah, I was a leach in this situation. I said,
no, I wouldn't say leech, but actually,
I
much.
leached on
more credit.
No, but I think because I trusted Robert's research because we both went to college together. We roomed together. And I remember us just talking about writing papers. And in a way, this isn't really academic writing, but really the research that goes into these episodes is very much reminds me of our college, digging deep and trying to find everything. And we go into academic journals and we really try and dig and round out these episodes, which, in my opinion, I don't know, not to toot my own horn here, but I think that's why the show is a cut above sometimes, is that your research is exceptional. And really, because I spend a lot of my time writing and doing a lot of back end stuff and obviously recording, but your research comes through. I'm like, dang, some of this stuff is so gold that I wouldn't find on my own. So
our reference page is pretty solid.
Yes. Yeah. And you check out the sources on any of our episodes. The lists are there, and you should see some of the documents that Robert throws together for me. Some of those are 40, 50 pages long of just an insane amount of research.
A lot of reading.
Yeah, a lot of reading, but it's good for us.
It's good.
Keeps us fresh.
Yeah. Reading?
Yuck. That's why I listen to podcasts. I don't want to read.
Listen, after teaching a bunch of ninth graders how to read, this is the last thing I have.
Is that why they're all illiterate now?
They're just learning now how to read in ninth grade.
Yeah, exactly.
B Fishy also says, I love that you have so many of your friends involved, even in small things like music and design. Yeah, I mean, Matt has done the music, and now he shows up week after week. And then even just pulling Lloyd out of the blue sky.
Don't tell them where you got the blue sky. I meet rain.
Yeah, exactly. You meet rain. Yeah. Except I pulled you out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I summoned you out of the sky.
Fighting.
Yeah. But it is really cool seeing all my different friends show up, and we have more friends scheduled coming up here. And Lloyd, I hope you return. Honestly,
only if you'll have me.
I think this has been so much for me to have you on. And
if you ever need a break, I'll just come on here. And show my
you got
ass.
a tight five. Yeah, nice. Show your meat, baby.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like a lot of my guests that come on here, and I'm not slighting anybody because my friends, these are my friends. They haven't been in the industry very long, and it's been very hard to find someone who's willing to interrupt me and just cut into something to give us a show. And I like it. I like getting interrupted as long as it's worthwhile. I wouldn't, if you were interrupting me and it's bogus, then I don't want it. You can't stop this guy.
Hey, Austin, that's great, but have you heard of? Yeah.
very thought-provoking interruptions here.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, like it's refreshing to have you on this show. It feels very highly energized.
It's refreshing to be on this show.
Hey,
Yeah.
are you having a good time?
Oh, I'm having a ball.
Good.
0 effort.
This is just Lloyd.
Yeah.
He's not
Nice
putting
to
on a
meet you.
show. This is Lloyd. Yeah. That's the other thing is it's hard to be natural on camera. This is Lloyd's first time on a podcast, right?
That I know of, yeah.
The secret cameras
Yeah.
that maybe picked you up and put you on display. No, but yeah, I think you've been great. You've done a bang up job.
Well, I banged it up all right.
I want to know what Matt thought when you initially heard of the podcast idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I loved it. You know, I had all the faith in this man and Robert, of course. You know, you guys are two of the smartest people I know for sure.
But now we're just jerking each other out.
Oh well, you know,
That's
I
a
love
jerk
to. So.
This meat shower.
No,
I'm
I
just
love
so
it.
happy that my friends can do it for themselves in this day and age because, you know, not everybody can work on themselves for themselves, and it's great to be part of that. You know,
I agree.
Amen.
I'm glad you guys are a part of this, honestly. To get a little I love my brothers, honestly. And I am very happy to have the friends that I have. And coming back to Michigan, like I've said, like I reconnected with Lloyd, and it's like we didn't miss a beat. We maybe hadn't talked in a while, but we go back. I feel like I'm back in our Hamtramck house.
dudes rock.
Dudes rock. That's the message at the end of this one. Meat showers and dudes.
Dudes rock. Hey, can we cut the thumbnail now? Yeah.
But yeah, my God, that is it for another episode. Remember to go follow, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Our podcast really needs all the support that it can get, and my fans always come through. You guys are my rock, my foundation, and I build myself upon you. And always remember, when you're outside enjoying a nice clear day, and then you realize you live in a world where it could rain meat at any given moment, ask yourself, do vultures see God? Think about it.